Lightning Fast Fantasy Football Podcast, sponsored by the Lockdown Defense Sports Network, is our weekly show dedicated to elite advice in standard leagues, PPR, and dynasty leagues. We are not guaranteeing you will win anything by our advice, but if you do, we want our cut. Enjoy the show. Are you tired of losing at fantasy football? Well, have a seat. You come to the right place. You're now tuned into the show where champions are made, where speed meets strategy, elite advice, rapid fire analysis, and winning lineups are provided. It all happens faster than Tyreek Hill's 40 time. So strap in. Let's dominate your draft, crush your matchups, and take a ride all the way to that fantasy goal right here on the Lightning Fast Fantasy Football Podcast. Let's go. My mic got muted. Welcome to the Lightning Fast Fantasy Football Podcast. My mic just muted on its own. Did its own thing. Y'all doing his own thing out here.
I was like, "Oh Lord, I see you. I see him talking. What's happening? Please don't do this to me."
Right. The mic just muted on its own. I don't know. But we here. The Lightning Fast Fantasy Football Podcast is here, live and direct in the building, man. I am Coach Stevens alongside the real AG, Alex Givens. We call him the real AG because the picks are all good. Good brother, good sir. How you feeling? What's going on over there?
Man, Coach, outside of the real football world, fantasy AG is feeling pretty great, man. I know we'll get into it, but we're feeling good about, the Dynasty League squad. We made a statement this last week, so
a little bit.
I'm riding high into the week. Let's say into week 12.
Indeed.
We'll see if I get smothered into oblivion or not, but hey.
Right. Yes, major moves made by AG over the weekend in the Lightning Fast Dynasty League. We'll get into it. I'm not even going to spoil it. We'll get into it. And I wonder who was a part of that news will be in the chat today. I wonder if he'll be here, but we'll get into it. But yeah, it's been this interesting week. Chargers got selected. I pretty much shit the bed all week, and I want to sit shit the bed. My team did. It just everybody just bad business all the way around. Messed around with the actually, ironically enough, KC cost me the pick'em league this week because I had to pick them. I'd have won the league again this week, and 2 weeks in a row, and lost that. Man. So underperformances. Jamar Chase, not doing much. Tedero McMillan sitting on my bench doing big work.
Doing too much.
Yeah. Right. Now Jamar's got to be suspended, so I got to play Tet. So, it's a wild thing. But, at least one league, I'm still in the thick of it, and I redraft league. So we'll see how things roll, man. But got a big matchup this week against RG. So and I'm just
gotta do it, brother.
I know. I got a nice feeling about it, but y'all got to do me one favor as a Chiefs fans and Chiefs team. Y'all got to shut down Jonathan Taylor. That's gotta happen.
I'm hoping so.
That's got to happen.
From your lips to God's ears, man.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. We need that. We need shut down JT. I think I'm good to go. So we'll see how things flow, man. Matter of fact, I need two for it. I need Mahomes the ball, and I need JT to shut it down. So yeah. Need those two things to happen for me. I'll be good money. Yes, indeed. But yes, man, we're here, man. We like to get to this, get to the gold. Lightning fast, as we always like to say. If you want to get to that gold fast, the Lightning Fast Fantasy Football Podcast is where you want to be. So we're gonna get into week 12. Well, week 11 going into week 12. So we'll talk about exactly what happened in week 11, who was the best of the worst, and who was the guys that are injured. We'll get into that. We'll talk about some replacements and get into all those things. And then we're going to talk playoffs. It is gearing up. I think we're 3 games away from the playoffs. So for most leagues, week 15 will be here before you know it. We get into week 12 this week. So yeah, we literally got 3 games before the playoffs kick off. So man, we got to get ready. Got to get ready. We'll talk about some strength of schedules and who we think there's some good matchups for the playoffs. So if you want to go out there, some guys will kind of focus on some guys that are going to be they're going to ride you all the way through the playoffs. Then we should be getting into that as well in the show. But any initial thoughts for the fans before we get going, AG?
I mean, it was just it's been a crazy year. I feel like with a lot of just weird things happening, a lot of
Mhm.
big time injuries, and kind of unsung heroes balling out. At least in the fantasy world, it seems. So
Yeah, talk about it.
it's like we said yesterday, and they've kind of said I think every week, like we still don't know
Oh no,
nothing about anything, and it's
yeah,
same could kind of be said to some degree in the fantasy realm too. It just
yeah,
how a lot of the usual big time contributors are very streaky this year, and there's not really a lot of like people that went early in drafts that are popping off every week for you and being that staple of your roster. So it's been a wild year, and I know it's going to be a wild push, and then playoffs with some of these matchups we're going to get into.
yes, indeed. I agree. I definitely agree. It's definitely been a wild one. Very unpredictable. A lot of I guess parity is a good word to use in regards to how the league is running, but that's not good for fantasy. Parity is
Right?
not good for fantasy. We need consistency. Is what we need in fantasy. You need consistency.
Yes.
I need consistency out of Justin Herbert and Mahomes. I don't get that week to week. It just depends. It just depends. And you have these defenses out here that literally carrying teams like the Eagles and the Broncos. They're carrying their teams all the way to the tops of their
Man,
division in the conference. So, go figure. In the passing league and the
some are
offensive league,
balling.
yeah, the defenses are carrying the weight. That's for sure. That is for sure. But
Man, my one blunder, it didn't really matter in the long run because the dude had Achan and Josh Allen, and he popped off. I mean, he had 50 points from Josh Allen alone. But
right.
last minute, dude, I was gonna ride with Cleveland because they got a good schedule, kind of rest of the year. But I was
Mhm.
like, man, I just don't feel good about this Baltimore game. So last minute, I'm like, I'll get the 49ers defense and put them in. And that was just the final kick in the nuts, man. Watching them get 1 point while
Right.
the Cleveland Browns have 22 or something. It's like,
Something crazy. Right. Exactly.
and that's
Yep.
why
Yep.
we don't do the Sunday tinkers, my
I was going to
friends.
say, when you do stinker tinkers, they never
I'm
pan out.
doing baby feed tinkers.
Right.
Like,
Right.
nah, I don't like this.
Hold the baby one hand and
Yeah,
tinker with the other. That's
your
right.
chin.
Right.
Like, come on.
He's tinkering and you're tinkering.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it. I like it. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. But as we start mostly do at the beginning of the show, we like to let guys know how available we are to the fans themselves. So we got a hotline for the fantasy football podcast. We have a hotline that you can call into at any point in time. Drop us a line. Don't call us at 4 a.m. That's just nuts. Don't do that. Don't do that. But if you're looking for us in normal business hours and you want to call us for fantasy questions, you got something hot on the line, like in Alex's case, you got a baby and you don't know what to do with your lineup. You just got to make a phone call. You can't really do no analytics, can't get on the computer. Hit us up, and drop us a line. We'll get to your questions as fast as possible. The number for that, if you're listening to this and not watching this live, the number is 240-249-2220. Once again, it's 240-249-2220. Drop us a line, hit us up, and we'll get back to you in short order. And please let us know how to get back to you so we can return the call and get your information to you as fast as possible. So, yeah, drop us a line there. Like we do in most shows, we open up the show with our fantasy recap. We run 2 leagues for the Fantasy Football Podcast. We have a redraft league and we have a dynasty league now. So we like to do a quick recap. And I know the guys that play football against us, they like to watch the pod. So we like to give a quick shout out to them and recap what's going on in that league. So we'll start with the redraft league, as we kind of alluded to earlier. This game was interesting. I think I might have scored the least. No, Robert actually ironically scored the least this week, but I had a rough week. I got a rough week against Cool Cav, man, and I only lost by 4. That's the crazy thing. Had I listen, I just needed to play one different player, and I did, and I thought I had it. But
Right.
Cool Cav, got me out of there 80 to 76. So I'm 74. Robert ironically lost because Jonathan Taylor was on a bye week, so he only scored 72
Shocker.
points. Right. So Mike Dub got him out of there with 99. Josh beat Taco.
Yeah. Taco did score 101 though.
He
I mean, he
did.
would have beat anyone else.
You would have. You're right about that. You're right about that. So Josh got a victory out of that. He's 4-7. You got a victory over 5 this week.
Yes,
So
sir.
he's now 5-6, ironically. So 96 to 87 in that. Coach D Bev 109 with 98 against Cody. So that was a good victory. He's trying to fight for a position there, 5-6. And DZ still riding, man. I don't know how he keeps doing it, but like I think he said it in the show last week or last night, I should say. He don't know how he's still winning, but he's still winning. So give him credit for that. So he beat Keith 92 to 86. So pretty good matchups there. There. All right. So in talking about the Dynasty League, yeah, it's a rough one here too. Saquon Barkley, as him, Herbert, and a few others let me down in the redraft league against Panda. I should have had that game too. I was literally, I was coming down to the Monday night game, and I think I had Trey Tucker, but he had Dak. And so
damn.
That did that. Although Trey Tucker did score, it just wasn't enough.
You needed week 2 Trey Tucker.
I did. I did 40 points. Trey Tucker. Exactly. So I lost that
long gone.
I know, and he's the number one now. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah,
he's the number one now. So, but yeah, that was a bad loss. And then we got against Panda. So then you
yes, sir. We did BTA, brother, against old Boyle.
Listen.
We went out, we said what needed to be done, and we did it.
You did. I can't say enough about this one. I mean, we talking BTA to the max. 150. This is what Boyle does to other people. So you turn around and did it to him. It's amazing. 156 to 121. He took down the big dog of the league, S. Boyles, and he's now 9-2, and you're above 500 for the first time. So that's good news.
Yes, sir.
That's good news. So we got that going. So then we got B Shank versus Spice, and Spice got B Shank out of there 125 to 116. And then Drew Dudley got a Nightmare out of there 145. He riding right behind you in that high score. You and Travis, Jacob. So yeah, so 116, 125 there. 145 to 128 for Nightmare and Drew Dudley. S. Rich and Go Farmer, tight one there, 139 to 130. And then Jacob and Riley Shank, 156 to 144. Riley Shank with a narrow victory there. So yeah. You still the top scorer, but not by much though, because Jacob had 156.
I know, it was very close.
156 to 64, man. So yeah, man. So shout out to Real AG for taking down the big dog, bringing him down a peg. But he's still right high in the standings. So if you have to face him in the playoffs, you're gonna have to pull that out again. Pause.
Yeah. Good catch there. And like I said, his Broncos did beat my Chiefs, so he got that one.
Silver lining for him, I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
Indeed. Okay. All right. So let's talk about week 12 matchups real quick and who's facing who. Like I said, we're getting down close to the nitty gritty. Week 12, 13, and 14 are the last 3 weeks of the regular season. So we're doing playoffs. So who's facing who and what the standings look like. So we got Robert in the top of the redraft league at 9-2 on points. DZ's right behind him at 9-2. I'm third at 7-4. Cool Cav is nipping at my heels now after his victory, 6-5 at 4. Coach D Bev is actually 5 now with his victory at 5-6. Cody's 5-6 as well at 6. Keith at 7 with 5-6. You at 5-6 at 8. 5 at 5-6 or 9. And Mike Dub and Josh are both at 10-11 at 4-7, and good old Taco at 2-9. So, yeah.
I mean, I think anyone's in it but Taco. I think now.
Yeah.
3 games that'll get narrowed down after this week a little bit, but.
So what are we doing? 6 or 8 in this league?
I think it's 8.
I think it's 8. Okay.
Let me look.
All right. So yeah, if it's 8, it's definitely literally one game out from 11 to 8. That's crazy. Hell, I mean 5 to 11 is only one game apart. So yeah, even if it is 6, it's only one game.
No, just 6. I lied.
6? Okay, that's what I thought.
That makes sense. Yeah, I'm like 8. 8 would be a lot.
It would. It would. So yeah, so we got 8. So we got 6 in this league. Okay, cool. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got to pull some dubs out. It's
yeah.
Not looking good for me this week, but hey.
We got to play Josh. But I mean that's I wouldn't say if it was like a 30 to 70 split, then maybe. But
the only problem is pretty much all my my good running back is hurt, and the rest of the the other one that would probably give me decent points is on bye. So,
Oh, well, there you go. If you
so
get hit with the bye week, that definitely will do you dirty.
but we do
Um,
got Jirake
yeah,
Maye, dude.
yeah.
So
Who's on a heater?
yes,
Who's on a heater? So
yeah,
that was a great draft pick for sure. So I got Robert. Now he fixed his team since I took the screenshot because he had a bunch of people on bye because he got a lot of Chargers. I think he got Herbert. I think he got Ladd. I think he got Dicker the kicker. Or do I got? I think I got Cameron Dicker. Yeah, but yeah, he got a lot of Chargers. So they on a bye week. So he had to retool his lineup. So interesting enough, the man has Herbert and Matt Stafford. So I mean, he's just got an embarrassment of riches quarterback right
right.
now. But yeah, then he got Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson. But you know that I'm hoping that Bijan will still get vultured and y'all stop Jonathan and I'll be all right. But we'll see. I got to face him this week. You going against Josh, like we said. Taco's going against 5. And we got Coach D Beb going against Keys, Cody going against DZ, who is favored by a lot. Was that 60-40?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. And then Coach my double against School Cavs. So some good matchups this week, man. Good matchups. The playoff implications are alive here for sure. For sure. All right, in the Dynasty League, like I said, Sport's still leading, but he's only up there by one game now. S. Rich can get him. S. Rich can get him if he loses one more, but that's a tall order.
Yeah,
That's a tall order, especially since he got to go against me this week. So I can't help you, S. Rich. Sorry, I can't help you, bro. Yeah, he's already projected to score 146. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. So I see what it is. Now I'm
right.
hitting with bye weeks this week too because I got Herbert in this league. He's on a bye week, so I got to deal with Sam Darnold's inconsistent ass. So yeah, I'm not feeling good about that. So yeah, but S Ball is at top at 9-2, S Rich at 83, Jacob at 7-4, B Shank at 6-5, you at 6-5, Drew Dudley at 5-6, Panda at 5-6, Riley Shank at 5-6, Nightmare at 4-7, Go Farmer at 4-7, Spice at 4-7, and I'm bringing up the rear 3-8. Yeah, so yeah, so we definitely lack conviction right now. That's my team name. We definitely lack conviction. So I'm going to give this balls. I'm just going to mail this one in. I'm not going to act like I'm going to win this one, but we'll see. You're going against Panda, Nightmare going against B Shank, Drew Dudley going against Spice, Goat Farmer going against Travis, Hunter Jacob, S. Rich, and Roddy Shank are going to face off. So it's going to be good matchups here outside of mine. Because I'll be watching y'all. Just like the Chargers on the bye week. I feel like I'm on a bye week this week, so we'll see. We'll
Right.
see. All right. So those are your fantasy dynasty and redraft league matchups for the week. So we'll see how things go and how it'll shape up next week.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's get into our top performers of the week for week 11. Some interesting names on this list, and a lot of points. A lot of points being scored, especially from the quarterback position.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got Justin Fields bringing up the rear 19, that's insane. That's insane. But Josh Allen with that Herculean performance on Sunday with 44 points. He scored he had 6 total touchdowns, I want to say.
Yep.
3 rushing
Total touchdowns, man. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And a pick.
That's right. Go figure. Go figure. So we had that. So Josh Allen 44-7. Bryce Young had the best game of his pro career, 31-8 in that victory. Dak Prescott against the Raiders. I mean, that's to be expected. 20-43. Jacoby Brissett in garbage time, 23 points. Going to Mike Wilson and Trey McBride, a ton. So they got a lot of points. Where he's 23-9, and then Justin Fields 19-3. So yeah, those were your 5 quarterbacks that shined this week. And the guy that I was high on out of the draft and kind of with his Chargers would have grabbed him, a couple of years ago, Sean Tucker, went off. He's kind of just stymieing and just pushing Richard White down in the carry dumps. And so he went off. He popped off with 33 points in a Tampa Bay game. Christian McCaffrey doing his normal thug thizzle with 32.6.
Yeah.
Trevion Henderson, our guy on the list 2 weeks in a row. So
Doubling down.
that's what I'm saying. 29-8. Bijan Robinson, which I don't want to see this again next week, but we'll see. 28-3 for his game, and Kenneth Gainwell with 26. Now I'll give you a quick shout out here too, because Kenneth Gainwell is a guy that you highlighted last year. That once he became available from Philly, he was going to be a sneaky fantasy get, and he has been. You were definitely right on the money with that, man. So shouts out to you for calling that and being right on that, because he's definitely being the more and more productive back out of in the Pittsburgh Steelers outfit. So
Yeah, and
Definitely.
I know I've noted him a few times this year as well on
You did.
waiver wire pickups,
Yep.
replacements. So
Yep.
yeah, he kind of just sticks around, man. And it's once someone goes down, he balls out. That's kind
Yeah.
of always been his mo, even in
It
Philly.
has. It has. It has. He definitely is a PPR demon. Because I mean, he
Yeah,
not only great rushes, but he definitely catches the ball a lot out of the backfield. So yes, definitely a good get there. So he came through with 26. So if you had him on your lineup this week, you cashed in real good.
yeah, right. Yeah, I had him in one of my dynasty leagues, but of course didn't play him. But
Oh,
you know, why
okay.
would you?
Right. Right.
With the other options I had, but we might this week. But yeah, so like you said, man, a lot of points, a lot of unsung heroes, and I think that could be especially true for the wide receiver group in Week 11. We
Mhm.
had T Mac with 29 is a career day for him at this
Oh yeah.
point. Hopefully, a sign of things to come, and the signs have been there all year, and it's finally cool to see it come to fruition. So we'll see how they build off of that. As you
Hmm.
kind of alluded to, Michael Wilson, apparently Jacoby Brissett's most trusted target, even
Yeah.
though he only gets in when other people are out. But he had 15 catches for the most receiving yards anyone's had on the year, with like 185 or something like that.
I'm crazy.
Crazy day. So, and like I said in the Tuesday Sleeper, man, if MHJ's out again, I think you could very realistically start Michael Wilson again. And feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Just with the way they are probably going to be in garbage time. George Pickens, for whatever he did to sit out the first opening drive, didn't need that to ball out. He had 24.9, just looked like a menace out there.
Mm,
Nico Collins back in the fold with 19.7, and Christian Watson scores 2 touchdowns, man. Another guy we kind of been highlighting a few weeks now.
that's
Like,
for
I
sure.
mean, the only person they seem to trust throwing the ball when he's healthy, and he's getting the production. And then with the tight ends, we had Trey McBride again, benefiting from the Jacoby Brissett garbage, just thrashing he had with
Yeah.
47 completions. He had 22 and a half. George Kittle caught a couple touchdowns with 21.7. Travis Kelsey, little vintage Kelsey game. I think 91 yards and a touchdown. He had 19.6. Mark Andrews, with the resurgence of Lamar, he's been picking things up the past few weeks. He had 14.2. And then AJ Barner, this is what I think the second time in the last 3 weeks he scored 11 or more points. So he's kind of coming in his own in Seattle as well.
Yeah. He's feast or famine for me because I picked
Oh,
him up.
very much. He picked
Yeah.
a zero in between those two. So
Exactly. And I think he's real tight independent too. I think that's another thing that you have to
yeah,
monitor because again, you think he's going to get a lot of volume, but he doesn't. He literally is like more of a red zone target than anything.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's
And he
interesting
does carry a little sneaky because he does. I mean, he's their tush push guy. So
too. Yeah, that's too.
you might
Right.
get a rushing touchdown out of him here and
It
there. A
just
little
might.
Taysom Hill spice.
But ironically enough, they don't do it on the goal line. They just do it on short yardage. That's
Yeah,
the good thing. So I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely a component there. And we talked about Mark Andrews last week about how he's sneaky pickup. So if you listened to our advice last week about getting Mark Andrews, you cashed in big with 14 points. So yeah,
yes,
shout
sir.
out to that for sure. All right. So defense and kickers who this week, the Steelers, ironically enough, 21 points in their matchup with top dogs this week. Cleveland Browns, although they can't seem to figure out offensively, their defense is menacing. I
Yeah,
think I said it last night. I with the Browns defense was on another team. That way we can it can actually benefit from its
an
production.
offense helping them out. Yeah,
Exactly. Think about it. If their offense was decent, how much better the Browns defense would be because they're not on the field as much.
oh yeah,
So,
it's
yeah,
it's
yeah,
sad, man. They're wasting Miles Garrett's career.
it really is. It really is. Only saving grace is to hope that maybe he breaks the NFL sack record for single season. That's the only thing you can really hang your hat on in that space. But yeah, 17 points for them. Jaguars against the lonely Chargers. They're 12 points. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
whatever.
12 points for them. They came in third. Dallas with 9 against the Raiders, and the Rams with 9 against the Seahawks. And they got 9 points and Darnold threw the 4 picks. So that
Yeah.
tells you they put up points. They just got they got 8 points off of interceptions. So if it hadn't been for that, they probably would have had 1 point. But
Mhm.
and they probably would have been on the other list. But yeah, they got 9 points off of Sam Darnold's blunders. Much to my chagrin. Again, if you take away those 8 points, just go back to Dynasty real quick. That's what screwed me in the Dynasty League. Now I think about it, because if he hadn't thrown those 4 picks, you take away that 8 points that he cost me. Guess what?
Yep.
In the game. win the game. So yeah,
Freaking
Sam Darnold,
Sam.
freaking Sam, and I got to deal with him as my top quarterback this week. So, yeah, but they are playing the Titans, so maybe that's my saving grace. Maybe that's
Yeah.
my penance.
You
And
do
that's
have a
my,
little bit better matchup this
yeah,
time, you
a
know.
little bit, a
It's a
little
get
bit.
right game for him.
Hopefully, for sure. All right, kickers. We got Will Lutz with 18. They
Yeah.
kicked a lot of field goals in Denver over the weekend. So
5
that
of
was
them, dude.
yeah. So Cairo Santos still kicking well in Chicago with 16. Jason Myers with 15. Eddie Pinheiro with 14 in San Fran, and Zane Gonzalez with 12 in Atlanta. So yeah, there's your
Is that Atlanta's 3rd kicker on the year?
it is. It is.
Damn,
I mean,
man.
Parker Romo, Young Wei Koo, and then him. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
damn.
yeah, a lot of turn thousands.
Gotta have a scapegoat, you know.
It's somebody. Somebody. So yeah, but I guess Thursday, 3 times the charm. I guess that's what they'll say. They finally got it right. Finally got it right.
Let's see.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So as we talk about the good guys, we got to talk about the bad guys as well. Guys that make you want to say,
You're killing me, Smalls.
"You're killing me, Smalls." Who was the worst performance of the week? Who made you look bad? Want to put a bag over your head? Just couldn't get right and probably cost you a fantasy matchup this week. So, but starting off with the worst performance of week 11, quarterbacks. We got Sam Darnold, who I just talked about, aforementioned, 8.3 points. He's the best of the worst. JJ McCarthy looked like it's complete and utter disaster in Minnesota with 8 points. Tua Tagovailoa with 6.8. Lamar Jackson, ironically enough, we know they won the game. He 6.7, and then Justin
Yeah.
Herbert rounded out with 4.3 because they look like a complete S show in Jacksonville over the weekend. So yes, so those are your naughty guys,
Yeah.
and I think that I would argue that JJ and Tua might not have been perennial starters for most people, but Sam, Lamar, and Justin let people down for sure this week.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I gotta wear my loss. I put Herbert in my perfect lineup, and he did the polar opposite. So,
I know.
you know,
Should have been your perfect worst lineup.
yep, that's what
Yeah.
it was.
Right. Yeah. We should probably do that too. Do perfect lineup and then perfect bad lineup. Who you should not absolutely not play this week.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah. So then we got Rashad White on the running back side. Again, Sean Tucker vulturing all of his touches. He but 7.2 is not nothing, it's not horrible, but but when you got Sean Tucker with his production and he only gets 7.2, it's getting bad for Rashad in Tampa Bay. And I got him in Dynasty League. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure something else out for him. He's not doing much. RJ Harvey was 6.5. I put him on the list because they were talking big about how he's going to be a good addition with J.K. Dobbins going down. And he didn't do anything, 6.5. And then Ashton Genty, who hasn't done nothing all year practically, 6.4. Two names I didn't think I would say on be on this list at this point in the year, but Quishon Judkins and Kamani Vidal rounded out. They have 5.9 and 2.2 respectively. So
Damn.
yeah, it's ugly week, man. I think I got 3 of those guys in different leagues. So yeah, it was a rough week for me. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Tough.
Hell, I got Rashad and Quishon on the same damn team. So
Hey, I had a team that had Derrick Henry, Genty, and Judkins. So I got points from one of them. Let's just put it that way.
I'm
But
gonna tell you how bad Derrick Henry is in fantasy this year. I actually tried to trade for him out of sheer desperation. And I sent this guy 3 good players and he told me no. That's how bad, that's how bad it is. I'm like, you don't even want to trade Derrick Henry? Like, what are we doing there?
right.
I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting. I was like, yeah, I don't know. Again, that tells you how desperate it is when you got a running back conundrum. But this was before Trevor Henderson popped off, so I'm okay now.
You're feeling nice now. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see with Stevenson back, but
right. Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, hopefully they'll keep giving him the ball because at this point I canceled that trade. I was like, I'm good now.
yeah.
Trayvon's ball and we're back. We're back.
Exactly, man. Yeah, and then kind of the same tune for our wide receivers, man. Some big pillars that let people down.
Big time names.
Best of the worst. St. Brown, 5.2, which is, especially in PPR, man, you just can't get that out of someone like St. Brown. Jamar Chase, 4.5, and got himself suspended for Week 12. Lad McConkey, who I also put in my perfect lineup with the stack bundle. See the negative end of that, I guess, here. He had 2.8. DJ Moore, who's been somewhat irrelevant all year, with 2.6, and Devontae Smith with 1.3 in that Philly roller coaster offense that they got.
Yeah.
That's what we'll call it. Yeah, then our tight ends, is I think not really anyone too shocking on the list at this point. Kyle Pitts, who to our demise is constantly on this list, and he
I
was
know.
the best of the worst with 2.4. So that just shows how bad it was for the tight end world.
Yeah.
In week 11, we had Pat Fryermuth with 2.4, Brock Wright, the Laporta replacement, with 1.8, and Njoku 1.2. Just, I mean, totally invisible in Cleveland at this point with Fannin and just the state of their offense. And then
Right.
Luke Musgrave, the Tucker Kraft replacement, just has not even given you a glimmer of that same type of production that you were getting from Kraft, before he got hurt, and he had not even a full point. So tough day for
Brutal.
him, man.
Brutal. And the funny thing about it is two fun facts. Luke Musgrave was drafted ahead of Tucker Kraft from Green Bay a couple of years ago, and he was a starter when he first got there. Tucker Kraft came in, took a job, didn't give it back, and has been way more productive in fantasy than Luke Musgrave ever has been.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, but I'm pretty sure the narrative between the two was Musgrave is the pass catching guy, the
That is
vertical
narrative.
threat, and Kraft is the more blocking possession type receiver. And it's
Complete 180.
yeah, boy, were they wrong.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they could have been more wrong in that space. Absolutely. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there because that was it. And that's why they put Musgrave ahead of him because he was a more of a pass catching threat out of college. But guess what? Tucker Kraft said, "Here, hold my beer. I got this."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. So there was some skill guys. The defensive kickers didn't do anything by any favors this week either. And yeah, KC with 2 points, the Bengals with 1. We kind of expect that though. The Jets with 1, Cardinals -1, and the Chargers -2. So yeah, that was just brutal. I think the Chiefs and the Chargers are the only defensive people are really playing that kind of let them down this week. Kickers, Chad Ryland with 4, Harrison Mervis from the Rams. They got Evis, but they
The
got
zoo guy, the thicker kicker, man.
That's him? Okay.
Yeah, he's like 260. Maybe not that big, but he's a big boy, man.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. And they got a little bit of a kicker issue over there too. They had Josh Carty at one point. Is he hurt? I'm not sure. They got Mevis now.
I
Yeah.
think he is hurt.
Okay.
What is Mevis? 6 foot 250.
Oh, unit. He's a unit.
He's what we like to call in this biz a unit.
A unit. B unit.
Big unit.
Kicker. Oh man. So Nick Folk with the Jets with 2 points. Young Wei Koo is on the Giants now, of all people. He had 2 points, and Lucas Laviscus, whatever that's in Green Bay, 1 point. So yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Lucas H with 1 point. So yeah. So those are your fantasy duds for week 11. So yeah. We'll pray for you if you have to deal with these guys like me. We have about 4 of these guys on this list, including the defenses. So rough go. All right, so let's talk about bye weeks real quick. Let's get into week 12 bye weeks, which you got 4 teams. Denver Broncos, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Miami Dolphins, and the Washington Commanders are all on byes this week. So the likes of Cortland Sutton, I don't know if anybody's playing Bo Nix unless you're forced, gun to their head to play him. Yeah, so
Sutton, Harvey, and the Chargers players. That should be about the only people you got to worry about replacing because I don't envision there being a whole lot of well, I guess Achane. That's about it.
Achane is probably a good one. Yeah, that's probably it. Maybe Waddle in deeper leagues, maybe flex. Yeah, but you're probably not playing any Commanders at this point. The running backs are just a disaster to play because they just give anybody and everybody the ball. No clear number one. And yeah, we don't know. We get out of Miami, especially to us. So yeah, definitely agree there. So Chargers, Justin Herbert, Lad McConkey, Kimani Vidal, certain space, Quentin Johnston. You got any of those guys? Got to sit them this week. And if you had the Broncos defense, that's another thing. You probably will have to sit the Broncos defense and do something different if you're in a redraft league. So yeah, there you have it. But the thing about week 13, there are no bye weeks. Everybody's playing next week, so that'll be a good one. All right, let's talk about our rolling segment called the replacements. Injury updates and roster moves. Who's on the injury list this week and who you got to use, or who's a good option to use to replace these guys with for 1 week or multiple weeks, depending on your situation, your conversation. Because we had one injury that came out here. I think they actually broke the news today, and I actually had the injury wrong. It was a multitude of things. I think I just put ankle, but
yeah,
Michael Penix,
it was the leg.
It's just the whole leg.
The whole leg.
His whole leg's falling off the bone. Whole leg falling off the bone, like a good batch of ribs. But But yeah, so Michael Penix, ankle, leg, knee, ACL reconstruction now. He was questionable going into the week, but now he's completely out and on IR for the season. Going to need 9 months to recover from his ACL reconstruction and his overall healing process of all the injuries he had. So he's done. Kirk Cousins is the guy who's going to be up now. CJ Stroud now is being ruled out now for his concussion for the second week in a row. So he's done for another week. And but they do have optimism that he's going to come back the week after this. So week 13, he should be up. So keep that in mind. Aaron Rodgers, broken wrist on his left non-throwing hand. He's going to try to practice tomorrow, but cross your fingers on that. And I'm not hopeful that if Aaron Rodgers is my quarterback anyway, I'm not real big hopeful that he's going to put up a lot of points. And with a broken wrist, it might be more running than throwing. Period for the Steelers this week. So we'll see. If he does play, if not, Mason Rudolph will be his replacement.
But Warren's banged up too, so it's like
I know.
Damn.
Yeah, so a lot of Kenny Gainwell. A lot of Kenny Gainwell. Yeah. So Dylan Gabriel, he's now ruled out. Shador Sanders is starting in his place with a conundrum that is the Ravens, not the Ravens, but the Browns offense. So yeah, so deal with that. Jackson Dart was still out with his concussion, but he did practice today in non-contact jersey. So he hadn't passed protocol yet, but he did practice in a limited fashion today. So that's positive. So those are quarterbacks that are hurt this week. Running backs, Jalen Warren, like you said, is banged up with his ankle, so he's questionable. Ramondre Stevenson has been out for a couple of weeks with his toe. He's questionable as well. Bucky Irvin still on the list, still hadn't played yet, but he did practice in limited fashion today. So that's encouraging news for him to come back. Not so much for Rashad White owners like me, but whatever. But Trey Benson is trending up. I think they lifted his IR today. Is that right, AG?
I think they did. They opened up his practice window. I don't know that they took it off IR yet, but
right. Yeah. So
3 weeks to do it now. So
right, 21 days, right? You get 21 days after they
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. So he has a practice window open, so that's positive news. So going forward. Isaiah Pacheco is still not completely ruled out, but he's still maybe a week or two away, do you think?
Yeah, I don't envision him playing.
Okay. All right. So he's still out with a knee, MCL sprain. Bashal Tootin, ankle, but his side, a lot of people have been high on him playing this week, so I'm assuming he's going to play, but we'll keep an eye on that. But he is questionable with an ankle. Coming off that Chargers win. And Josh Jacobs, Packers, he's ruled out this week. I'm pretty sure. Did I see that today? Did I read that right?
I don't think they've officially done that yet, but it's looking that way.
It's looking bleak. Yeah.
He's still questionable. Didn't practice today. Remains day to day, but
okay.
I mean, let's be real. A running back, knee injury. Like, man, all you gotta do is watch Friday Night Lights to know why not to do that.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
Exactly. Great movie, by the way.
Yeah,
Great
shout
movie,
out, Booby.
Indeed. So yeah, those are your running backs that are hurt. A lot of these guys are probably not gonna play this week outside of maybe Tootin. I think Tootin and Warren have probably got the best shot to play. So keep that in mind if these
maybe
guys
Stevenson too, but I don't.
Yeah.
He's back at practice, but
right.
You would hope with the tear that Trevion's gone on, they'll
wean him. They'll wean him back in slowly.
Go with the young calf,
Yeah, right. You had the old bull. Yeah. Now you gotta have the young calf. I like it. Indeed. Okay, so those are your quarterbacks and running backs that are banged up. Wide receivers, another CVS long receipt.
Yeah. Not as long as it's been. That's
true.
For sure.
It's getting smaller.
It's dwindling down a bit, but we've got some repeat offenders that are going to be on here now for the rest of the year. At this point,
I know.
But we got Garrett Wilson. Obviously, he's out for. I don't think they put him on IR though, right? Or did they?
Yeah.
Okay,
IR return. Yep.
Okay, so he's going to be out for a couple more weeks. Scary T never put on the IR, but I do not envision him playing the rest of the season at this point. Just there's like no news about him ever anymore. It's just he's around, but he ain't playing. It's like okay.
All right.
Nico's been a little banged up, but he played, as you saw, he's top performer week 11, and I think practiced in full today, so I think he's good to go. Brian Thomas Jr., sort of the same thing. He was banged up last week, did ultimately play, but was limited today. But I think that's more of a precautionary thing than any concern of him playing. But what's that worth in this
Uh,
in
I
this
know.
season that we're in?
Right.
Christian Kirk, kind of the same thing. Just a lot of Houston receivers banged up
Yeah.
with the hamstring, but he did practice in full today as well. So I think good to go. Chris Godwin still limited in practice, but is listed as questionable. So I mean that's at least a positive sign, and I think he is tracking in the right direction to return, if not this week, next week. Is what it seems like. Which I would note maybe a sneaky pickup if he's out because I saw him available in a couple leagues and I swiped him up just to
Why not? Why
have
not?
just to load up for the playoffs. Calvin Ridley, returned last week from I think being out since week four, 6, one of those, but
Yeah.
returned and broke his fibula. He's out for the year now. Just really unfortunate for him. And then Marvin Harrison Jr., who we kind of foreshadowed last week, Coach, when they were saying he's out 1 week with appendicitis. I'm like, I don't know
I don't
about
know
that.
about that one.
Already
Yeah.
ruled him out again for this week with appendicitis, not concussion.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Appendectomy. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Maybe
yeah,
appendectomy was too long for the spreadsheet. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
It started with a concussion, then he had appendectomy after that. That's what the lingering thing is.
Yeah, no, you're right. Kayshawn Booty, he's back in practice. He was out a couple weeks of a hamstring injury, but like he had initially said, it wasn't anything serious, and it was a 1 to 2 week thing. He's back. We'll see how he mixes into the fold with the red hot Pats at this stage.
Yeah.
Darius Slayton, he did not practice today with a hamstring. That's
Nope.
been lingering for a few weeks for him now, and I got to think if he's not practicing at this stage, it's not looking good for Week 12. He's already been out 2 weeks
Yeah.
at this point, so not looking good for him. And then just to kick the Titans while they're down, I guess Elick Ao Manor didn't practice today as well with the hamstring, and like we've said a few times now, man, the wide receivers and hamstring injuries that could be a pretty prolonged thing. So
That's sure. Yeah, tell it to the guy that got Mike Evans in a few leagues and has
right, yeah.
He always has issues with his hamstring.
And you saw how that went when they tried to rush him back, and
they broke his
he tried to
collarbone.
rush himself back.
Yeah,
not that those two are
correlated,
directly related, but it's
right.
when you're already banged up, it's you're
Yeah.
not playing the same, and other things can happen.
Indeed.
Xavier Leggett, he was there was a few Panthers banged up in that game that all ultimately ended up playing and finishing the game. Obviously, Bryce Young set a career or a franchise record for passing yards in the game, but I didn't see anything on him today as an injury designation, so I think he's good to go too. And then a couple new ads that I would just note. We did have Drake London, PCL sprain. He's already been ruled out for this week, and I could see maybe week 13 too, which is unfortunate because he's kind of been the shining star in the Atlanta offense here lately. We had Emeka Ibuka. He didn't practice today with an illness, so I don't think that's anything serious, but you want to monitor that. Just
True.
You never know with those illnesses.
Get him out there.
Yeah, right. And some smelling salts, and just forget about it. And then Xavier Worthy, he's kind of been hobbling around on an ankle for a few weeks now. He missed practice today with that ankle injury. I don't know that that's really anything serious either, but at the same time, he hasn't really grown into this Chiefs offense, especially with Rashee Rice out there now. So, for whatever that is worth.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So round it up with the tight ends.
Yeah, tight ends. We got Dalton Kincaid. He missed week 11 with that hamstring, and I think he's still. I don't think he's practicing.
No, they ruled him out today.
Yeah, already so ruled him out again.
Yep.
Like we said, save the hamstrings, man. They can just linger.
Yep.
Dalton Schultz, he's had a shoulder injury for a few weeks now, but has been able to play. I think he practiced today, so I think he's going to end up being fine. Brenton Strange has returned. He returned from the IR last week.
He did.
I don't think did a whole lot, but he's back into the mix.
Well, practiced. He didn't play. He practiced.
Oh, he didn't play. Okay. Yeah. I thought they returned him, but
no, he didn't play in the game. He didn't practice. He practiced all week except for Friday, and then they ruled him out for the game. But he is back off IR, so that's the return.
Oh, gotcha.
It could be this week, could be next week at the latest. Probably, I think he'll be back on the field because they need him because Hunter Long is hurt now, so they need him to come in to help that tight end room.
Yeah, and then we had Tyler Higbee with the Rams. He actually was put on the IR today with an
Yep.
ankle injury,
Mhm.
so he's out for the next 4 games. So potentially Terrence Ferguson time. Promising rookie. We kind of talked about
Yep.
potentially usurping Higbee.
Yeah.
Hey man, this is his Tucker Craft moment right here.
I
And
might
if you're
need it because I
if you're
got
hurt at tight end,
yeah.
maybe look out for it. You
Well,
never
somebody got
know.
to be dynasty league in the taxi spot. Maybe I got to elevate him.
Yeah, hey, I be careful with that though. I elevated Isaiah Bond thinking that was about to pop off, and then he
And
hasn't
then
done
nothing.
ish
Right.
since. The
Right.
most
And,
points he got me, he was on the taxi squad, but hey, And then Sam Laporta, as we all know, put on the IR very late last week.
mhm.
Kind of an injury. I think it popped up like that the day before or something.
Some weird. Yeah.
Friday or Saturday morning. It was late in the week, but
Yeah.
he's
He got hurt
out
on
for.
Thursday and he got ruled out on Friday. Yep. That's
Yep.
exactly what it was. Yep.
Yeah, so he's out for 3 more games at this point.
Yep. There you go. Okay. All right. So those are tight ends and your wide receivers that are banged up. And hopefully we get these guys back that are not gone for the season. Or we get it back in short order, but we'll see. But yeah, keep your eye on that. So with those guys that are banged up, we got to talk about who can replace them. So we got top 3 each position in each space, who can be their replacements. So starting with the quarterbacks, Jacoby Brissett, I think is a good option. I mean, hell, we saw that if they're going to be playing from behind a lot, he's going to throw the ball a lot. He's had a career high in attempts. He might have broke the actual league record for attempts. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Last
and
week.
incompletions. So
Yeah, right. So there you go. So he's going to throw the ball out most likely into Mike Wilson, Trey McBride, and if Marvin Harrison comes back to him as well. So he could be a good ad, and he's only rostered 20% of leagues. Bryce Young, who's only rostered 18% of leagues still, he had a good game. Will he turn the corner at this point, having that career game, and will that continue? Him and that connection with him and Ted McMillan should thrive and flourish. So why not pick him up now if you can do it? Kirk Cousins as well, like we talked about. Michael Penix is done for the year, so 2% rostered in most leagues across the board. So yeah, he's a good ad as well. Again, it's getting late in the season. These aren't sexy names, but hey, if you gotta have a roster, person in your roster that's need to be filled, then you gotta get it done. So
and remember, dude, Big Kirko wakes up dripping. All right.
hey, if
He
he goes back,
stays dripping, whatever
if
he
he goes
said.
back to Minnesota Kirko, then hey, you take the khakis off and put the cape on. Why not? Why not? We'll see. But yeah, those are good quarterbacks to add this week. I feel pretty good about Bryce Young for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe
I do too. We'll get to that later.
Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, I like Bryce Young's vibe right now for sure. All right, cool, Cat. What's happening, good brother? I shouldn't talk to you because you beat me, but you're my guy regardless. I'm just messing. I'm just messing. What's happening out there, good sir? Appreciate you coming through. But yeah, so running backs, Kenneth Gainwell, we've been talking about him all show. I mean, he's the guy right now in Pittsburgh, especially if Aaron Rodgers is gonna be banged up and they're gonna run the ball more or check it down a lot. Definitely something to watch. He's only rostered in 43% of leagues so far. So Sean Tucker is another get, especially in deeper leagues. Until Bucky Irvin is officially fully healthy, Sean Tucker might be usurping Rashad White at this point in carries for Tampa. So he's only rostered in 20% of leagues. And Josh Jacobs backup, Emmanuel Wilson, 9% of leagues only rostered so far. So go out and get him as a quick fill for Josh Jacobs' injury. So until they bring him back. So that was a good ads as well. So between those 6, pick them up, to fill in those bye week gaps or whatever your case may be, injury gaps, whatever you got to do. So those should be some pretty good ads. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would add another one that's I've seen kind of universally get dropped is Bam Knight. And you got D McCardo's out, Trey Benson. Might return, but I don't know. And it's just so might be the Bam Knight show. If you're in a pinch with some bye week hell or whatever, look at him too. But for receivers, not to stay too long on the Arizona Cardinals train. And as I did kind of say, Marvin Harrison Jr. is out, so I think Michael Wilson is a very solid replacement this week. With the performance he had last week and seeming to have this chemistry with Jacoby Brissett. I'm guessing from their time on the scout team, but he I think will do fine here in week 12. Christian Watson sort of the same. I mean, they're hella banged up pass catchers in Green Bay, and he's been producing and still somehow only rostered in 22% of leagues which is crazy. Jaden Higgins, he's kind of been quietly building more and more in that Houston offense. You know, they drafted him pretty early. I think they want to get him involved, and
Yeah.
you know, he's one more Christian Kirk injury away from being the solidified wide
Number
receiver
one.
too. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, Nico's one, he's two. You're right. Yep. Yeah.
yeah, and you know, some others I would note for wide receiver, if you're dealing with a lot of potential replacements or whatever, Darnell Mooney, I think could be a quiet sneaky ad because London is out, so he is going to be the de facto wide receiver one. And Cool Kev may like this one, but I think if PPR, you could look at Tyler Lockett too. I mean, he returned to Vegas with his old coach, his old QB, and he gets the second most targets behind Brock Bowers at this point. So
Yeah.
from a PPR standpoint, you could look at him as well. And then for our tight ends, we got Juwan Johnson. He's coming off of his bye. He's been pretty consistently producing in New Orleans.
I swooped
Out
him
of
up in that redraft league. That's for sure.
down in Nolens. Must be something in the waters. I don't know.
Must
But
be. He's been going
yeah,
up Tyler Shuck.
he's been doing pretty solid with Rattler and Shuck at this point.
Yep.
Brock Wright, yeah. I don't disagree with you there, Kev, but
Right.
you know, sometimes late in the fantasy season you gotta pull out the desperate cards, you know.
Yeah.
We got Brock Wright, you know, the de facto replacement for Sam Laporta. He's been in that system for a long time. I think blocked him signing somewhere else to bring him back, paid him more money to keep him there. So you know they have faith in him, and I'd like to think you see a little bit more than we did in late notice game that he had last week. So could be a sneaky replacement for you, maybe long term. And then Jatavion Sanders was the guy we were kind of noting early in the year, getting a lot of red zone work. He got hurt. He's getting back into it, and maybe with this potential Bryce Young boom we're going to see, Jatavion could benefit from that, especially in the goal line red zone area.
I like it. Yeah, some definitely good ads there. Yeah, I like the Christian Watson one, the Jaden Higgins one for sure is maybe long term plays. Juwan Johnson as well. Like I said, I went all in and trying to get him in our redraft league because my tight end position since Tucker Kraft got hurt has been abysmal.
Yeah,
so
Slim Pickens out there too.
Yeah,
man.
again, this is one of those 2 a.m. last call at the bars.
Yeah,
you had a few brews.
Come on,
all of a sudden, Sally's looking pretty good to you.
Take your last shot.
Yeah, right now.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Let's ride. Get my Nicolas Cage on. Let's ride. So yeah, some pretty good ads though, man. I definitely feel good about Sean Tucker, Bryce Young, Christian Watson, and Juwan Johnson for sure. So get those guys on your roster, man, if you can, to fill in those gaps for bye weeks or whatever have you. But it's a pretty good list there. I like it a lot. All right, so let's move on down the line here. Let's talk about our rolling segments here on the pod. We're going to talk about playoff matchups this week. What teams have the best playoff matchups in 2025? Who you should be targeting from a player and a defensive perspective? If you do team defenses in your league and your redraft leagues and things of that nature, who's the ultimate gets in the fantasy football playoffs for week 15, 16, and 17? So starting off with our schedule here, it's a pretty robust schedule if you look at it. This is the AFC list first. So these are the weeks and these are the matchups, and actually make it large for you, get our faces off of there for you. This is the AFC schedule. Who they're gonna face in those 3 weeks, and what their opponent's gonna be. So take a look at it, screenshot it, do what you need to do for week 15 through 17. And these are who they're going to face. So if you can pinpoint, highlight, or wherever you can look at from a matchup perspective is who they're going to face, it'll be a good reference guide for you. So check that out. So that's the AFC. And then it's the NFC here. Their matchups as well through from 15, 16, and 17. So some good, interesting matchups here. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight 6 teams that we think that are going to be, good, highly, touted matchups, have really good, juicy matchups that will ultimately probably pay you dividends from a production standpoint. So we're going to highlight those teams and who we think is going to be absolute gold for you. So you can go after their defenses, or if you have their players, or you can trade for their players, do what you need to do to get those guys on your roster. And that should help you propel you in the playoffs and get you some good points in 2025. So here's our list in regards to who we feel like is going to be the guys or the teams that are going to do well for you. So I think we'll see this Stroud coming back. I think the Houston Texans defense for sure is going to be a good one. They're going to have really good matchups in that matchup in the playoffs. I think that's going to be good. And I think that once CJ Stroud comes back in the fold and starts to get back, in the rhythm with the offense, because he was trending up before he got hurt. I think they will ultimately have some staying power. So your Nico Collins, your Woody Marks, your CJ Strouds, their defense for sure. If you got their defense, or you get if somehow or another you can trade for them, whatever your case may be, in a package deal or whatever the issue is, go get them, because they will definitely pay off for you in the playoffs. So if you got a Houston Texans defense, just set it and forget it. They're gonna ball for you. That's for sure. Yeah. So and then the Arizona Cardinals on your side, AG. Tell us about that.
Yeah, man, it's crazy just looking at our teams, and when we put up all the schedule, like the AFC, it's like every team has a pretty brutal playoff stretch, or maybe that's just the sheer weight of how good the AFC has been this year compared to the NFC, which you can kind of see that just looking at the division standings,
Right.
with the team records. But the Cardinals, they do got to play Houston, week 15, first week of the playoffs. But I think it's more from a standpoint of they're going to be in a lot of garbage time situations.
Yes.
They're going to
Yes.
have to. I mean, they clearly trust Brissett to throw the ball, whatever, 60 damn times a game.
Right.
Your Trey McBrides, your Marvin Harrisons, maybe even your Michael Wilsons. Trey Benson comes back; he carries a little PPR value.
Yes.
You could see that, and then if you're riding with Cardinals players and you make it in deep into the playoffs, you're looking at playing Atlanta and then Cincinnati. Some pretty
Lovely.
pretty booming, opportunistic defenses from a fantasy perspective.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, and then going back rehashing Houston's matchups, so like I said, they got the Cardinals, ironically, in that defense that first week. And then who they have the Vegas Raiders
Raiders,
after that, and then the
they play
Chargers,
Chargers.
so and at least from a sack perspective, that's gonna be a problematic situation because their D line is good holistically. They're gonna give the Chargers fits. So, although it's my team, I gotta be honest and say that's gonna be a juicy matchup for them as well. And then of course what they did to them last year in the playoffs is going to haunt them. So that's going to be a game that I'm not going to want to watch. But hey,
Yeah, right.
it's but from a fantasy perspective, for my illustrious advice, I definitely believe that the Chargers game in that championship week is a juicy matchup for the Texans defense as well. So look out for that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man, I would actually put they're top for me in general. Their matchups
Proven, dude.
period.
Yeah.
Their matchups are the best out there. They're the best in the business. I'm bar none. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what they got. They got Atlanta with Kirk Cousins. They got Carolina with Bryce Young. They got Tua Tagovailoa in Miami in Week 17. Falcons, Panthers, and the Dolphins. It don't get no better than that for
No.
3 straight weeks.
No.
So and I didn't want to break the news too early, but I make sure I solidified it before the show. But I make sure I picked up that Buccaneers defense in 2 of my leagues. So yeah, they will be
Absolutely.
starting to come to playoffs because there's gonna be some juicy matchups for that defense at Todd Bowles. So I'm loving that groove for sure. And of course, by that time, we might be looking at Chris Godwin and Emeka Buka being healthy, Bucky Irvin being back. So I think those guys will definitely flourish as well. Baker Mayfield will be more of a starting every week option going against those defense as well. So yeah, I like what Tampa Bay's doing. They might be the top team in fantasy football for the 2025 season for me.
Yeah, no, I don't agree. I don't disagree with that. From top
Yeah.
to bottom, like it's looking pretty good for them. And if you
Absolutely.
got Bucks players, especially if you've been sitting on the Bucky Irving pine,
Yeah.
for a while,
Yep.
waiting for that, he's gonna return at a good time.
I like it.
I put the New York Giants on here, and I know there's not a whole lot of sexy New York Giant fantasy options out there, but sort of similar analysis to the Cardinals, man. Like they're going to be in maybe some garbage time moments, or just playing some really bad defenses. I mean, you look, they got the Commanders, who are giving up the most points in the NFL right now defensively. They got Minnesota, who's a little bit better, but their offense gets in their way, and their defense isn't as good as I think it can be if they just sort of like the Browns, just not as bad, but
Right.
almost to that level.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they finish things out with the Raiders. So a lot of good matchups for them as well, top to bottom. If probably at this point, if you got your Jackson Darts, your Wandell Robinson, maybe Theo Johnson.
Yep.
I don't know
Yep.
that I would put any weight in the Singletary or Tyrone Tracy department right now, but one of those guys might kind of rise to the top and be that unsung hero for you come playoff time with these matchups.
I like it. Yeah, great call. Great call. And I do believe that with Kafka being the interim coach, and interim coaches always want to fight. So I
Yeah.
do believe that they're going to be tough, some tough outs, even though that might not be playoff relevant in real life. That they're going to fight for Kafka's
Oh yeah.
ability to say he can coach.
I feel
So
like
I
that
think,
always happens too. Like
yeah,
every
yeah,
interim
every interim
coach gets
coach,
some big win,
yes,
some big unexpected win, and then it's
exactly.
like, damn, maybe this is the guy.
Exactly. So it might be fool's gold, but they're going to fight for him. I promise you that. They're going to fight for him. So yeah, I think that the Giants is definitely a good play there. That's a good sneaky pick there. That's a good one, AJ. I like it. And for me, 3-8 is the Philadelphia Eagles. Although the offense it leaves a little much to be desired, here right now. But their matchups are great outside of maybe Week 17. But hell, even the Buffalo Bills defense isn't that great.
No.
So they got the Vegas Raiders in Week 15. They got the Commanders Week 16, and they got the Buffalo Bills in Week 17. So, again, the Bills' best thing about their team is their offense, not their defense. Even
Yeah.
though they are healthier at that point. So, cold weather game as well. So it's should be a lot of running the ball. So I like Saquon Barkley in all these matchups. They're going to be at Philly, at Washington, and at Buffalo, all cold weather outdoor games. So I like the defense to ball out. I like for Saquon to get going. Jalen Hurts, should be a viable option, and maybe Devontae Smith, because they're going to probably do a lot, just lull you to sleep with the run game, and then pop one over the top to Devontae when you fall asleep in coverage. So I think that's where he made his hay so far. Is hence why I've been kind of highlighting him in my lineups, because I think that he's probably the most productive receiver that they have. At this particular point in time. So yeah, I definitely like Philly's matchups from a defensive and a player perspective. So they got some really good matchups there as well. So I love the Eagles in that space.
Yeah, and it's it's the kind of storybook narrative, right? Like
Yeah,
that's like their offense could finally click in the playoffs, fantasy
right.
play
At the very
due to the
right time.
matchups,
Yep.
So it's like if you've been staying strong with AJ Brown or getting a little frustrated with Hurts, it could pay dividends at that point. So yeah, I like that pick as well. And then round things out, I put the 49ers. I know we've talked about them almost a year long because they had one of the easiest schedules just
Yep.
on paper.
Oh yeah.
Looking at the season to start off, the kind of things are going right for them at the right time as well. Just looking at their playoff matchups, they got Tennessee, the Indianapolis Colts, which who knows what type of team that's going to be week
Yeah.
16. But
Yep.
their defense is not really anything to write home about. And then they finish that out week 17 with the Chicago Bears, which kind of same thing. Like their defense can be good, but offense can get in the way a little bit. Caleb can
Right.
get in the way with them, and they can be vulnerable at times too. And they got Purdy back. They got Kittle was banged up. He's back. He's booming with Purdy back. McCaffrey's been a stable dog all year. Jawan Jennings is picked up now that Purdy's back. Pearsall's getting back. So,
Yep.
they're getting all their offensive pieces back at the
At the
right
right
time
time. Yeah.
and, have good matchups at the right time for you in fantasy. So feel good about a lot of 49ers players in the playoffs.
I do. I agree with that too. And also a quick note, little fun fact that they don't play any cold weather games in the playoffs for fantasy. They got Tennessee at home. They got Indy inside at Indy in a dome, and they got Chicago at home. So
Yeah.
that's all nice climate control type of game.
Looking good.
Looking good. So we're talking two warm weather outdoor games and one indoor game. So no, viable weather outside of maybe rain. That's the only thing that can get in your way. But if it's a nice sunny day in Southern California like it normally is, it should be a good matchup for the 49ers, especially for their offense. And that lets you know that everything's available. Because a lot of times when you have running games or windy games or what case may be, the air attack goes away. But, if you have no weather to speak of, guess what? Everything's available. Brock Purdy can throw it all over the yard. Christian McCaffrey can run all over the yard. So I love that matchup. That's a good sneaky one there, AG. That's a good one. I like it. So there's your best and brightest fantasy football team matchups for player and defensive perspective. So go out and get you the Buccaneers defense, because I think they're probably the easiest get that's got the toughest defense. I'm pretty sure the Eagles and the Texans defense are gone.
Yeah.
But the Buccaneers, if they're available, go get them now because their matchups are good, juicy. I'm here to tell you. So that's our best playoff matchup segment. So moving down the line, let's talk about the games of the week and the schedule for this week. What the matchups going to look like. Some interesting matchups here. I think it's gonna be a lot of points scored this week. If I had to guess, if I had
I
to
do
guess,
too, man.
a lot of points gonna be scored. Even with the Buffalo Houston game to start off the week, I think the Davis Mills showed that he's capable as a backup. He can put up points, especially with that defense, giving him a lot more, bites of the apple, giving him more possession. So I definitely like that matchup. I think there'll be a lot of points scored in the dome. They're playing in Houston, so there's no weather to speak of in that space. So they're gonna be inside. So that should be a track meet on that turf. But what has your eye, in matchups in its entirety? What caught your eye as far as either lopsided or
Yeah.
well, shootouts?
Yeah, I think the most lopsided one, or the one that I'm trying to start anyone and everyone on this team, is the Patriots against the Bengals, man.
Yes.
I think all Patriots players are going to be popping off in this game, just with the state of the Bengals team, and they're not going to have Jamar Chase. I think that's probably the most lopsided one of the whole Week 12 slate, in my opinion.
I like it. Joe Burrow. This is a quick note too. Joe Burrow practiced full today. Did you?
Mm-hmm. I did see that. I meant to note that.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's. I don't know that they put him out against the
No, not that. But
defense, but
he'll probably wait for Jamar Chase to come back anyway because he's suspended for a week. So that's another thing. But yeah, I would queue up any Patriots. I'm with you there for sure. Queue up any Patriots. Another lopsided one too. I think the Seattle Tennessee game.
yeah,
I think Sam, Kenneth Walker, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Rashid Shaheed, AJ Barner is a vulture in the red zone. Yeah, I like all those options.
The only thing that gave me pause about that one and calling the Pats one probably the most lopsided was Darnold, man. Like,
I know.
He just hasn't been like I said early in the show, this is a get right game for him. You would like to think he goes out and gives you early season Sam Darnold, but he's been on a rough little stretch. So we'll see if he gets out of it.
Yeah, let's hope we get out of that funk because I need those points in fantasy, Sam. Yes. I know you don't care, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I think the feeling I got on the shootout game, and I think this Monday Night Football game, Carolina San Francisco, I think is going to be shootouty.
Yeah, in San Fran in the warm weather. So yes, I like that. That's a good one. I think that could be a shutout game because San Fran's defense is decimated. Although Robert Sala's trying over there, he ain't got a whole lot to work with.
No, so they're banged up, man.
They're definitely banged up across the board and defensively. So yeah, I definitely like the Carolina matchup as well. I think that could be a shootout. I would love to know what the over under is for points for that. What is the
Let's see here. Over under on points 48.5.
I don't know. I might take the over on that.
And San Fran's a 7-point favorite.
Oh yeah. I'm taking a line on that. I'm taking Carolina to not cover that at all. Yeah, I like that matchup. That's a good one. What do you think about the Tampa Bay Rams game?
It's funny you've pivoted to that because that one has a very similar points and line spread. As that Panthers 49ers, it's 49.5, and Rams are 7-point favorites. But
wow.
I almost said that was my shootout game of the week. I think that one's going to be kind of like that as well. I think Baker's been pretty historically good against the Rams. Like I said, their pass defense is pretty vulnerable at times.
Yep.
They're pretty great against the run,
right.
But Bucks have kind of been effective against anyone with that trio. Or I guess not really the duo they have, potentially trio they might have here soon. So yeah, I think that could be a shootout too.
I like it. What about stay away games? You got anything that's a stay away game for either side?
Man, I don't know that there's really any like that that just both of them seem so bad,
I think the Philly Dallas game is a stay away game for me.
Yeah, I could see it being. I mean, it was because it was a decent. It was 24-20 opening week.
Right, but that was no Jalen Carter, no Quentin Williams. The rosters are different. They got overshown back now. The defense looks better for Dallas, and the defense they even had Jalen Phillips now. So they got defenses gotten upgrades on both sides of the ball. So we could be looking at a
Yeah.
a quote unquote 20-point game. 20 points might win it. Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah,
I
20
think
points.
that's very, very realistic with
Yes,
how Philly's offense has been, and Dallas's offense has been pretty good. I mean, because they've had to be,
right,
because their defense gives up so much. But
right.
like you
But
said, man,
Merrick,
they got reinforcements. They got Logan Wilson too. I think that's kind of a slept on move they made.
it is.
He's a
Yep,
hell of a pass coverage linebacker.
agreed,
You
agreed. So
know.
yeah, I think that's a stay away game from a fantasy perspective because I think it's gonna be low scoring
Yeah,
in that space.
I
But
agree
yeah,
with that.
yeah, okay. All right. What about the Indy Colts and Chiefs game? You think that's gonna be low scoring?
I mean, I think it's going to have to be for Kansas City from Kansas City
Right,
perspective, but
right,
I
right,
don't
right.
think I can confidently sit here and say like you can't play Jonathan Taylor or you can't play. You're gonna have to play those guys. So it's like you're just
Right.
gonna have to ride with it and hope. But Chiefs are gonna have to contain the run and not give up more than two scores to have a shot, in my opinion. So.
Okay. I like it. Okay. Well, there you have it. So those are the matchups we got. I think we got the Buffalo Houston game, the Tampa Bay
Mhm.
Rams game, the Carolina 49ers game, and the Seattle and Tennessee game is being pretty good fantasy gold.
Yeah.
Pretty good fantasy gold. I like it. I like it. Okay. All right, so let's talk about perfect lineup, man. As we wrap the show up here,
Yes, sir.
we'll get into our best matchups of the week. We're going to each give our perfect lineup for our own perspectives and tell you who we feel like from one position to another is going to be their best options at each position to play this week. If you have them in your lineup or you play best ball. So, starting for week 12 for me, I'm going to Rocky Maye against the Bengals. I'm loving that matchup. I mean, that is a layup. I
That is
couldn't do it.
juicy couture.
Yes, it is. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yes, that's a good one. So yes, Rocky Maye against the Bengals is going to be my QB1 for this week for sure. Bijan against the Saints defense, loving that matchup as well. I mean, especially when they got a new quarterback in Kirk Cousins, and going to have to rely on him more so to be your offense, and no Drake London either. So I like that matchup. I like Jameer Gibbs, and just a matchup nightmare against the Giants defense as a whole. His speed, his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield is going to be a nightmare for the
Yeah.
Giants. I like him as a running back as well over him and Bijan. Talking about the Seattle matchup, Jackson Smith and Jigba against the Titans secondary, loving that. He should have an easy 100-yard game against them. Cedric McMillan, T-Mac against the 49ers. I mean, I just think that their corners and his size is going to be problematic for him to cover unless you double him. So I like that matchup and him continuing that synergy with Bryce Young. I love that. Doubling down there. Trey McBride, until further notice, is going to be good the pass catching option for the Cardinals. So I'm picking him this week against the Jags. Puka Nacua against the Bucks. He just does what he wants when he wants against anybody. So I think that he's going to have a good day against the Buccaneers, at least from a PPR perspective. I think he'll get a lot of
Yeah.
targets. Taking Tyler Loop against the Jets, a kicker wide from the Ravens. I'm taking him to score a lot of points from that space. And then, of course, riding with the Browns defense against the Raiders. They're going to eat Geno alive. I'm just going to put it out there. Sorry, Raiders fans. Cool, Kevin, you still watching. But yeah, the Browns defense and Myles Garrett is going to likely, especially with no left tackle, still with Colton Miller being out,
Yeah.
Myles Garrett is going to have a field day against the Raiders. So I'm taking the Browns and having a lot of points scored from the Browns perspective against the Raiders. That's for sure. So that's my lineup. Real AG, let them know what you got on your side.
Yeah, man. I went with some spicier picks. I saw yours too, and I couldn't do my stack bundle with the QB I was rolling with, so we had to pivot. But hey, my perfect QB for Week 12, as I kind of alluded to, talking about the matchups. I'm buying into the stock that Bryce Young is starting to get in his bag and emerge a little bit.
I
I
like
feel
it.
good about this matchup against the 49ers, banged up 49ers defense that just gave up an historic NFL record 47 completions to Jacoby Brissett. So feeling good with Bryce Young week 12. Feel good about Derrick Henry. Had a pretty decent week in week 11. They are playing the Jets and that dumpster fire team that they are. So I feel good about Derrick Henry in week 12. Feel good with Kyron Williams going against the Bucks. Just in that lineup. With that potential shootout type game we talked about as well with Rams and Bucks. Going, like I said, love all Patriots players against Cincinnati. So we went with Stephon Diggs. He's kind of quietly been balling for the last 5 weeks at this point.
Yeah,
I think he
yeah,
scored a touchdown 4 straight weeks.
yeah.
Didn't get one last week, but did get
Mm.
109 yards. So he's becoming that trusted target for Drake May. I put Rashee Rice on here. Like I said, we had to pivot from the T-Mac stack bundle, but I
Right.
feel good about Rashee in this game, man. I like the way that the Colts play defense. It plays into what the Chiefs like to do with Rashee, and I think they're going to make it a point to get him the ball a lot more than they tried to against the Broncos in what is a desperation must-win game for the Chiefs. So I like Rashee Rice against the Colts. I like George Kittle against the Panthers on Monday night. Like I kind of said, man, I think that's going to be a shootout type game. Purdy gets back in the lineup. Kittle starts scoring at ad nauseum almost. So
Yeah.
feel good on with him on Monday night. I got Travis Etienne with Tootin potentially banged up. Etienne did score twice against the Chargers. I feel good about them using him pretty good and pretty effectively against the Cardinals. I'm going with the Seahawks defense, man,
Got to, man. Got to, man.
against the Titans. I think it's going to be kind of a nightmare game for Cam Ward, unfortunately.
It is.
Like
I feel bad for
Seahawks are a very opportunistic defense. As you see, Sam Darnold consistently tries to get in their way, and they tell him, hold our beer. We'll get you,
Right. We got
you the
this.
ball back. And
Right.
I see him kind of doing a little bit of the same against Tennessee. And then my perfect kicker to round things out for Week 12 is Brandon Aubrey, not Jay Brandon Aubrey. Sorry about that. But as we talked about, it's going to be it's going to be a low. I think we get a little low scoring tight game, and it just seems like a Brandon Aubrey type game against the Eagles defense.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good call. And that connection with Troy Kittle and Brock Purdy can't be understated. That's a great call on your tight end. I like it, and I think Rashee Rice is going to be PPR demon for the Colts game for sure. So if you got him in PPR league, definitely put him up there. You're right. There you go. With your Windhorse, call. I like it. Yes, indeed. It's a good lineup, man. Definitely a good one for sure. All right. So yeah, those are perfect lineups for the week. So if you have any or multiple guys that are going to play for you this week, you should be feeling good about this week. You should have a good weekend, and hopefully that I'll get you a victory. All right, so as we round out the show, man, we'd like to leave for a couple of minutes. For anybody's in the chat watching this live, they're getting any questions off. You have any lineup conundrums, any lineup questions you want to ask, please drop us a line now. Give us any and all questions that we can answer for you here and now. And if you need us to, offline, if you're watching this on replay, you can always reach out to us on social media. You can drop your comments on the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button as always to let the YouTube algorithm know we're doing big things out here. So please do that. You can reach out to us on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. We're all on those platforms. Follow us in those spaces as well. We drop content each and every day on that. Lightning Fast FF is our handle all throughout the board, even Gmail. So if you're looking for it, just type in Lightning Fast FF in any platform. It'll come right up for you. It was the only handle that's like that in the whole stratosphere. So that's pretty good, pretty easy to figure that out. If you needed to hit us up from a phone call perspective, we alluded to this earlier in the pod about how a hotline can work. If you need to call us and drop us a voicemail, our number is 240-249-2220. So if you want to drop us a voicemail, let us know how we can get back to you, get your questions answered offline. You can do that as well. So in all ways, you can drop a line to us. You need fantasy football questions answered. We are here for you. During business hours. Don't hit us up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, because we will get back and see you the next business day. But hit us up. Any questions you have in the chat, we'll answer them now. If not, we'll get you back to your regular lives, man, and check us out each and every day on Monday through Friday for all our content. We drop shorts each and every day at 3 o'clock, and our live show is Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on this channel each and every week throughout the fantasy football season. So we're going to keep getting you right and geared up and ready to take that fantasy football championship home. So again, what we always say, if you're looking for, you're trying to get to that go fast, the Lightning Fast Fantasy Football Podcast is where you want to be, man.
Yes, sir.
So, if there are no questions in the chat, man, if you think of anything that comes up between now and then, hit us up. But Real AG, you got anything else for the fans, man? Outside of the normal pleasantries that if they're not playing you, you're good to go.
Nah, man, yeah, no, just hey, I hope everyone has a good week 12, and if you're in the playoff hunt, things go your way to secure your spot. Again, unless you're playing me, but
Indeed. So so again, come back each and every week, man. We're gonna be dropping more and more fantasy football advice and nuggets that are going to help prepare you to get you to the playoffs and win it for you. So we'll be dropping lines for that each and every week. Like I said, the show drops each and every Wednesday night right here on this channel, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We broadcast on Instagram, Twitter, on YouTube. Like I said, drop us a line on YouTube, hit the subscribe button so we can grow this channel. That'd be great for us, man. And we appreciate everybody that's been showing up and showing out for us
Yes,
week
sir.
in and week out, man. So that's gonna do it for us, man. So we'll see how week 12 rolls, and hopefully everybody has a good matchup and get a victory, because we all need it at this point. Can't be dropping games at this particular point in time. So hopefully you guys play well. And we'll be back next week as always, man. But until then, I'm Coach Defense, man. That is the real AG. Until then, we'll see you when we see you. Step up.